For today's cup of coffee with Scream,
Oh,
a little less Scream. A
Yeah.
little less Scream today
yeah.
because Keith got to see his primary.
Mm-hmm.
The primary agreed with me. He actually did a throat culture
He did.
to check for strep, and the results should be back on Friday. But something that in amongst the chaos, everything, the urgent care doctor actually had sent him an antibiotic in, or had the prescription of it, but because it was late at night, and then the pharmacy, of course, was closed, and then the next morning it was a matter of us going relatively early to the ER, and as far as the understanding of the antibiotic being there, it was gone. It was totally gone.
Yeah.
So he started that today.
It was a pretty stressful weekend.
He does not have mono. They checked him for that.
Yeah, they did check me for mono, and they checked me for strep again, except this time they were doing a culture.
Right.
Hopefully,
But
I'll get
his
the results
throat,
soon.
it was incredible. It's just, the color red is incredible.
Was it about as red as my shirt?
Yeah. I told you that.
That bad?
Yes. Plus, you've got, as far as the blisters and the pus and everything like that, which is usually indicative of strep. At least there was no grayish, so we can rule out as far as some of the other things.
I want to know how the fuck did I catch it?
Honey, things touching the bottom of your shoe.
I'm touching.
That was one of the things. Small children's, one of the ways that they get strep so frequently, they will touch the bottom of their shoes, different things like that, touch their face, whatever.
I've got my hand on my pants leg.
I'm just
which is
saying,
tucked
I'm
into
just
my
saying.
shoe.
People do things unconsciously. They really do. But I
Slowly retracts my hand.
I appreciated the, healthcare provider. He's like, hey, you want to come over here and see it? And I'm like, yes. And it's like, well, shit, no wonder he's in pain. No shit.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
And I did find out that you can order, and it's called an endoscope.
Yeah.
You can order the medical grade ones, which are like thousands of dollars, or you can order some of the ones that mechanics use. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, you could in a pinch. You could in a pinch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, people need, honestly, to gather equipment just in case.
He gave you two extended cotton
Yes,
swabs.
because it was a matter of possibility of iodine as in kids' throat. Because that was what was done to me, and it worked. It worked. But I went on eBay, and that's where our background is from. Everybody needs a bone saw, just in case.
Was it eBay or Amazon?
I know it was eBay. This was eBay.
I'll show you.
Now, the endoscope you can order off of Amazon. You can.
Well.
It's like, but there's some amazing medical instruments that you can get on eBay, new and used. And it never hurts to have some of these things. And they actually have a 106-piece major general surgery instrument set, German grade steel. I'm sure it's stainless steel. $269. That's not bad.
That's still big pricey.
Not for that. And then I like some of the vintage ones that you have that, and
I don't
just
use something that's used.
a lot of people, it's like, that is just really, really weird. Let me tell you something. You never know when these will come in handy.
Please don't operate on me with used
Autoclave.
utensils.
Well, that was what I was talking about, to the nurse. Back in olden times, you had the surgical steel or stainless steel tools, and they used an autoclave to sanitize them. There was not all this medical waste bullshit.
Well, see, in that case, that makes a lot of sense. If that autoclave gave proper sanitation,
Yes.
then yeah.
Yes. And there wasn't all the waste. And that they had incinerators in the hospitals and stuff as far as contaminated gauze and whatever else. And it incinerated. Fire purifies. Yeah.
It does.
But now you can't do that. We've got to do everything the stupidest, hardest way possible.
Most stupidest, hardest way, and most expensive.
And that's what it's all about, the money on that. What I thought was most interesting is they have a 16-piece basic delivery set. If you need to deliver a baby, you can go on eBay and be prepared. They've got the little forceps and everything.
You could have an at-home birth. Birth your own babies.
But I love going down those rabbit holes of odd things that are online.
Egg out of the pot.
All kinds of forceps, and some of them are not horribly priced. They're not.
They're tongs.
Some of them are tongs. They really are. It's like
just go to the kitchen section at Walmart.
And it's something I do need to order, and I did not order as far as a suture kit. You can get those on Amazon, and you can get them on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
If worst comes to worst, Dermabond. My God, I should have bought stock in Dermabond years ago because youngest kid. Yeah. And I researched, and like I said, this is not medical advice for anybody. We ain't medical, nothing. We just idiots, we paddling pirates paddling along. Okay, we have to have that disclaimer.
Yeah.
But as far as Dermabond, the difference between that and superglue, I had researched that years ago. It's basically the same thing, except the superglue burns when you apply it, and the Dermabond does not.
I think the superglue, what is that? It's acetone based, so
maybe. I'm not sure, but I know that there had been people that had used it in a pinch because there's a lot of us Gen Xers out there.
I think it is acetone based because it dissolves with acetone.
Yeah.
And acetone fucking burns if you got a cut on your finger and you accidentally put it on that.
Yeah, well, some of us... How many times have you seen me? There that one time, I honestly don't usually injure myself with sharp objects like knives or something. But there was one time, was it near the holidays, that I took a chunk.
Shit out of yourself.
And so what did I do? It was a matter of paper towel and duct tape, and kept on doing what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Because in Gen X, that's what you do.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you need to? How bad are you? And I was like, I'm fine. It'll heal. Oh, look, they have a cranial set for general neurosurgery.
What?
Yeah. That one's pricier. It's $420.
What? Hold up. Explain that to me, please.
Neurosurgery, brain surgery.
That's legal to sell on the internet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's going to be operating on their brain?
Some of these places, you never know. You never know.
At-home brain transplant. You know what?
Oh, they have a vein stripper.
People joke about getting their lobotomy at Claire's.
Yeah. Yeah. They truly, truly do. It's just amazing. I urge you to go on eBay, type in surgical instruments. God. This is way cool. But now, a lot of as far as vets and different things like that, I bet you they've got petri dishes. I'll have to do that afterwards.
You would need an incubator to go along with it.
Yeah. But I would need a good microscope also. Because you got to look at that, all that, and you have stains so that you can see the different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trained to do this. I have trained to be able to do this.
You have?
Yeah. Yeah. I've probably got as much training as some of those people that's actually doing this and getting paid for it.
Not the brain surgery.
No, not the brain surgery. No. But while we've been having our own personal drama, all this drama that's going on in the world, my God. And it's just one of those, it's like, yeah, no, you deal with what you got to deal with in front of you. There ain't nothing I can do about it, some of that other stuff. Oldest kid was concerned about June 14th because there's supposedly some planned something to have like mass chaos. And it's like,
UFO?
No. And I said, so that means that on that day, which will be a Saturday, does that mean I can sit on the front porch in my rocking chair with 12 gauge across my lap and say I am become meme?
Now let's... What mass chaos? What do you mean? Like, when I hear mass chaos, I've heard this shit before, and the mass chaos only happened in these big cities.
Exactly.
And other
Exactly.
sort of big cities around us.
I ain't the only one that would be sitting out on the porch with 12 gauge, by the way, in this area. That's sort of commonplace.
In this little town of ours.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
Literally, we've been safe.
Because we live out in the boonies. Totally, completely. Like I said, it's not uncommon. It's like somebody sitting out on the front porch with a 12 gauge. Welcome to Appalachia. People that's not from here, they don't understand. It's like they really don't know. Well, some of us really do. We really are like that. And a lot of people, it doesn't take a lot of urging.
No, it doesn't.
It's just our culture.
It's in our blood.
It is. It totally is. And something that I didn't get to talk about, because taking him back to the doctor and stuff like that again today, and it's just like, and we got some rain in the forecast, so my energy level is tanking at this point. But Butterfly Effect Astrology, also known as Astro Panda, and she comes and visits our ship in various and sundry incarnations, and wonderful breakdowns. She explains the planetary alignments in a way that I can understand it. She explains it like I'm 5. So I will put
fries in the bag.
Yeah, I will put her address, channel, page, thing in the description box.
Twitter page,
yeah. Whatever it is. It's X. It's an X page.
It's X, but damn it, who actually...
But I just wanted to share with you all, because she writes in a very insightful, wonderful way. And she had posted this on June the 7th, and says, Trump versus Elon, riots in LA, and now this. All related to Mercury out of bounds and the lead up to the moon wobble, mid-eclipse season point, and both being amped up by Saturn and Neptune being in Aries, which war attacks, and Jupiter now in Cancer, which amplifies emotions. Mercury out of bounds can bring distortion and extremism in the mental sphere. People may struggle with extremely bizarre or twisted thought processes, compulsive thinking, fixations, obsessions, speech problems, or hearing voices that aren't real. The chance for us to be unable to read other people's signals and misunderstand them greatly increases. We're more likely to exaggerate, grossly misconstrue, and wildly blow things out of proportion with what we say and hear. The window of effect for this is June the 2nd through the 21st. I appreciate those calendar that I can sit there and go, yes, this is exactly what I need. It says, moon wobbles bring human instability, excitability, and confusion. People speak and act without thinking and make irrational decisions. A sense of urgency is at an all-time high, and suppressed emotions that have been bubbling beneath the surface finally erupt during these times. We've had so many people that scene from Falling Down where he's standing there with those broken glasses. There are millions. Millions.
Fuck.
Moon wobbles are strongly linked to freak accidents, fires, explosions, plane, boat, train crashes, severe vehicular accidents and pileups, severe natural disasters, weird weather patterns, violence, suicides, riots. There you go. Acts of terrorism, personal and political upheavals, and other catastrophes where there is significant loss of life. This window for effect is June the 4th through the 23rd. Now, y'all might want to, I bookmarked this over there on X. It's what I'm reading from. It says we're also 3 days out. And like I said, she had written this, I think I said on the 7th. Yes. 3 days out from the moon going out of bounds, which makes people extremely sensitive, unstable, insecure, fearful, paranoid, selfish, cold, and insensitive. Things like mass hysteria and emotional manipulation are common during this time. It could also bring up situations in the world surrounding food and security issues. The window of effect for this is June the 10th through the 14th. It says with Mercury out of bounds, moon out of bounds, and the moon wobble happening simultaneously, and be very careful between June the 10th through the 14th. We also have an out of bound full moon happening during this window on June 11th. That's some valuable information.
Yeah.
Plus, with the sun doing its thing right now, that's going to further intensify Earth weather. So
we got
all
a
these
big
things,
clusterfuck.
yeah, we do have a clusterfuck. But if you understand what's going on, you can prepare. Knowledge is power. But as far as some of these large urban areas, folks, those of you who live in some of these cities, situational awareness all the time, please.
Damn, you tweet a lot.
I don't know if you heard him. He's like, damn, you tweet a lot. Yes, I do. I'm active. I'm
trying to find that. I'm having to scroll.
And well, that's okay. You can, because like I said, I can put her page. I'll put the address there in the description box.
But some of that shit, it's like, damn it. I don't want to be one of the people that loses their shit.
You don't have to lose your shit. That's what I'm saying. With people who do have anxiety disorder, and right now, everybody a little anxious. Everybody. But as far as thoughts, you do not have to pay attention to every thought that goes through your head. And the ones that you decide to capture do not have to be the worst of them.
And listen, when I say some of this stuff, I say it in hopes of connecting with other people in case they do the same shit,
Sure.
you know?
Sure.
But it's like I listen to some of this stuff and it's like, do I do that? Am I going to do that?
Well, and this is...
No.
And this is one of the things, especially for younger people, the need, and that's why I was talking to you earlier, the need for external validation, that comes with the territory, with certain age groups, okay? So and people are not taught to validate themselves.
But there's hope of me aging out of that.
Well, I'm part of it, but it is also learning the different coping skills.
Okay.
To learn that self-confidence. You do not need someone else's external validation. All right? If you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, God will tell you. There'll be that nagging in your gut, and you're like, You know?
Mm-hmm.
But we have, that's the thing with social media, with the TikToks and the different things like that. Someone is looking for external validation on a lot of those things. Not all of it. Some of it's like us, just presenting information and just random chat. But some of the young ones, it's the look at me, look at me, look at me. It's still small kid brain. And you've got a lot of them that's, so I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. Well, honey, you better make sure you got enough to spare.
If you got if you got one brain cell running around in that noggin, you you're gonna be left with none.
And everybody has times that they make mistakes. That is the human experience to learn, to grow. Even as far as to sit there and go, you know what, that was really stupid. I shouldn't have done that. I, have found out other information. I no longer have this view on this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And this dragging stuff up from it's like, you thought this when you were 2. What? Who the hell is monitoring this constant monitoring of a human's life, everything like that? That freaks me out. The Big Brother thing that we're going into possibly freaks me out.
Well, shit, some of us have already been doing that to ourselves for years.
Yes, but you've been doing it inaccurately. You are playing the role of Satan, the accuser of the brethren. Only you're accusing yourself when forgiveness is right there. Who you going to listen to, the voice of God or the voice of Satan?
Well, that's the thing. God definitely has retrained my brain and helped me realize, oh, this wasn't that bad. Okay, yeah, this was not how I thought it was.
Sure. And as an adult, to go back,
and it's to go as an adult and look back at that stuff,
right? That you're no longer kid brain, and to have some compassion.
Yeah, and to really be like, shit, that was nothing. People don't even probably remember that, and if they do, they probably just find it funny.
Right, and that's just like as far as young people, they always think, oh, well, I made this mistake. I walked out of the bathroom and I had toilet paper on my shoe, and honey, they ain't nobody gonna remember that. And if they do, is they gonna laugh because they've done it also? It's not that big of a deal. 100 years from now, nobody will know. That's when you think that you have screwed up on something like that. That's the litmus test. 100 years from now, nobody cares that you went out with one shoe of a kind.
Yeah.
You laugh. You go on.
Yeah.
But as far as intrusive thoughts and things, now we do have a national helpline. If you have a mental health crisis, help is available. So don't, if you become overwhelmed or whatever, try to learn to gauge yourself to sit there and go, okay, I've had enough. I don't need to watch any more news. I don't need to know what's going on in LA. I don't need to know what's going on in Russia or any of these places that is outside of my scope. Bring your focus back to, in this moment, what are you doing? What are you, your feet, the feeling of your feet on the floor, of whatever that you're sitting on. Seriously, go outside and touch grass, barefoot on the earth, to ground, to breathe, to give thanks. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry what's going on tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Just to be in this moment.
Mm-hmm. Stop watching the political stuff. Stop watching the shit.
If it's bothering you, don't do it.
Hassan Piker versus whatever the fuck.
I don't even know. I don't even get into that.
He's the left. The people want to call him the left Joe Rogan, and he's so dumb and evil.
Like I said, I don't even have an opinion because I don't have to. I ain't got time for it. I've got books that I want to read. There's other things. And it's like in my spirit on some of it, no. Not right now. I can sit there and go, okay, that's enough. It's the same old bullshit. There's only so much that I can control. That is that serenity prayer. And those of us that are old school AA, we have that. I have that posted around my house. Mm-hmm. Various and sundry places. Give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Mm-hmm. You got the little angel on the window there.
Yes, that was a gift from somebody. And I appreciate that. So within this, breathe. You do not have to get caught up in your emotions. If you get too emotional, That was just like us missing as far as the antibiotic prescription, because it was that panic response. It's like, oh God, he's sick. How bad is he sick? He's got a fever. This is why you're not supposed to treat your own people. Doctors will not operate on their family members. This is why. Because you can't always shut off that emotional attachment.
Yeah.
You have to be detached on it. But he's doing better. Yeah. And I'm still going to spritz his throat.
I got a shot of steroid.
Mm-hmm. Which calmed down the throat and stuff lots.
Yeah.
Lidocaine.
I had to take a shot of lidocaine.
It is a lidocaine topical solution.
Except this time I had to drink it.
It's viscous. What a cool word.
It tastes viscous. Like ass. It tastes like just...
Oh, he said you could put a drop of clove in it.
I don't think anything's going to make
clove numbs also. He's like, do you have any clove? And I'm thinking, who do you think you're talking to? Of course we have clove. He's so funny.
Yes.
It was funny. I said something to it's like, I don't know. Why would these people act like I intimidate them? And he just gave me a look. Over the top of his mask, he gave me a look.
It's like, you really asked that?
I know me. I live in here. We don't always know how other people see us. We don't. But it's like when somebody's doing something stupid and it can cause potential harm. Yeah, I'm going to call somebody's hand on that.
Yeah.
I wasn't rude. Wasn't rude at all. But it's like when you got somebody's got 103 fever for days. Yeah, that ain't. Nope.
If it wasn't for the fact that I couldn't speak hardly, I would have said a few things to that doctor right then and there.
A lot of people are intimidated to advocate for themselves. And that makes me feel sad. Because that's,
That's what I told. At this point, I don't remember who I told. But I responded to yesterday's comments finally. And I told one of them, like, yeah, Mama's been trying to has advocated for me for years. And has tried to teach me to advocate for myself for years.
To find your own voice.
And maybe this was like the wake-up call I needed.
Sure. You always have the right to say, what is this? Why are you doing this? Can you, what about this testing? What is this medication? I want to know the risks of it. I want to know the benefits of it. Ask questions. Always. Mm-hmm. You don't have to assume that these people, they are not God. Far from it, a lot of them. And like I said, the fact that some of those people is like, nasopharyngeal, what does that mean? If you don't know that, you need to go down the road and work at Starbucks.
At least Primary did.
Yeah. Oh, God, he's brilliant.
He is.
And humble. And he gets a kick out of us. He really does.
He's a good doctor.
He's a wonderful human being.
Yeah. Fuck. There was something I was going to ask him and I forgot. Shit. He paints.
Does he paint?
He paints, and it's
that
like...
That doesn't surprise me.
Last time I went there, I was feeling like shit anyhow, and I was focused on showing him my stuff, and I forgot to ask him what sort of paintings he did, and so I was going to ask him this time, and shit.
Well, you were sick. It's sort of understandable. It's understandable. He's a very Renaissance man. We need more Renaissance men.
I think he works with oils.
Yeah. Or
something like that, and I'm like, I want it to be like, show me some of your paintings, teach me.
So, but yeah, all kinds of things coming up, yeah. But you too can have your own amputation surgical instrument set. Just $240. Yeah, and the brain surgery, yeah. Interesting. All kinds of rabbit holes that you can explore on eBay. It's just, yeah. Oh, interesting times we're living through. Interesting. Everybody's having the paranormal. Everybody's having the supernatural. You want
Yep.
to tell them where we can be found?
You can find us on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also, check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, at Rolanda, COCWS.
He had changed his handle, and I didn't realize it until I was looking for something, and I'm like, what? But I did change it in the description box, so it's there.
I wanted it to match the YouTube channel.
Okay.
It's okay, Clay.
Yeah.
Listen, I wanted something kind of vaguely inspired by some of the YouTubers that I watched over the years, like Jordan Underneath, or where he changed his channel to Go to Sleep Jordan.
Mm-hmm. He changes that frequently. It's Piscean.
I think
It's like the colors of the room and yeah. We won't even go there.
I think Jordan is a Cancer.
That figures. Yeah, I can see that.
That's the vibe he gives.
Mm-hmm. It's like your brother has a birthday this month. Yeah.
Shit, I need to figure out what to make him.
Anyhow, while he ponders
I'm not going to
that.
make him sick.
Yeah, that's the main thing, to not make him sick. That's always a glorious thing.
Yeah.
Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way you would like to be treated. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.